Yeah, he's out here.
I don't see him.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Gene. Yeah.
No, I don't see Jim here.
No.
Oh, is it under exclusions?
Yeah. Right, yeah.
Yeah, these are.
Everybody's disappearing.
Did you hear anything?
No.
Action news.
Right before I left.
No. Okay.
I don't see him.
All right.
Envelopes. I think we're-
I don't. You did. He asked me if I had them.
Missed you last week, I was asking for you.
He said, are you serious? Yeah. Where are they?
Remember, you can't still take the minutes,
I know.
but you can
Yeah.
do the.
Well, they knew I was coming.
I have a question. Why can't you approve the minutes? If you read them, you would say, okay, I read them.
I'm not getting into that.
Nick?
You don't mind them either way, do you?
He wants to hide.
Yeah, actually,
Hey, Dominic, he wants to be.
I know. Hey, thank you so much.
You can have that. I have one. I have one. I put it in the file.
Do we need to screen that?
They just see us twice.
We don't. See between bubbles. What are they doing? 10:31?
Waiting on the feed.
We're waiting to go live. Oh, okay.
See if I can just get anything.
Well, I'm trying to.
Trying to sign in.
He did real good with that last week.
Maybe? I find that hard to believe.
Only screwed one thing up.
Said he had it scripted.
Make sure the guys who are getting paid to do this are doing it.
All ready to go. Now call the meeting again. Carter County Board of Commissioners to order. Please rise for a moment of silence, prayer, and the Pledge of Allegiance. Father in heaven, bless us as we gather today for this meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so that we will work for the good of our community and help all your people. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in our face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These proceedings are being recorded for the sole purpose of constituting the accuracy of Written minutes, tapes are reused, eliminating recorded records of these proceedings. First item is the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting held October 7th, 2021, noting a correction to the payroll fund checking account dated September 24th, 2021. Check numbers should be 73938 through 73965.
Motion approved.
With the change, right? Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
I abstained since I was not at the meeting. Under guests concerning county business, I want to introduce Dave Kupcha. Is that how you say that, sir?
Yes.
They'd like to make a presentation, I understand.
Okay, and I want her along with me. I have 2 hearing aids, and she still has to tell me everything.
Yeah.
Can I borrow one of yours?
All right.
Okay, well, what I want to do personally is donate $10,000 to the animal shelter. The only stipulation is that it gets to be used for maintenance and repairs. And the ventilation is real big time. So, okay. Okay,
Stay there, sir. We're gonna come down to you.
okay. The date on here you'll see is 10/8/21, but I made it out to give right away, and they said, oh, no, you have to go through the commissioner. So be it. But anyway, I want the $10,000 for an animal shelter.
It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
And I did have a discussion with him previously, and one of the things, the ventilation, as everybody has seen, we did do the blacktopping, we're doing improvements there. And the next phase is the ventilation, and this will be greatly appreciated towards that.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And
We will guarantee that.
bring it up, or
That's
you
what
want
we'll
me
do,
to
Okay.
for your wishes.
All right. Oh, we appreciate that too, then.
And Tom called me this morning, he says there's a gentleman and his family coming to give a donation, and usually we get, sometimes $500, $600, and I thought it was a mistake when he said 10,000, but like I said, it's greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. It'll go to where you want it.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Dave.
you for our help.
Jared, would you like a picture while we can?
Yep.
I don't know if
Doug,
you
get in
want to
there.
bring
Go,
your
Doug, get
daughter
in there.
along
Right
over?
here.
Come on,
Go
Dave.
right over
Here,
there.
we'll put you in the middle.
Okay.
Get in there, Doug.
In the middle.
That's a dangerous. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Quite welcome.
Put the check there.
I guess we'll-
Yeah, he needs help.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dave.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
For everything.
Thank you.
We gotta give this family.
I guess we can go.
Okay.
And you gotta watch the movie.
Oh, he watches it all
He
the time.
watches it all the time.
Thank you. Awesome.
Okay. All right, we'll continue at this time. Are there any guests concerning county business? Yes, sir. You state your name and.
Yeah, my name is Jerry Hoare, spelled H-O-A-R-E, from Jim Thorpe. First, I want to comment about the old building, the school building up on the Heights. I saw the estimates, and I found it really disturbing that much money would be spent on an existing structure. Also, I noticed that the original estimate was dated October 5, and then the revised estimate was October 8, the day after last week's meeting. The estimates were not made public until the night before last, the Times News did not pick it up. So you're gonna be voting on something that's gonna affect all the residents of Carbon County, and they don't know about it. I just can't understand why we continue to spend that kind of money in a county that's not able to afford it. Also, I noticed that there were exclusions in the estimate, so I can see that it's going to cost a lot more than what those estimates indicate. And as far as, I thought we were supposed to be focusing on green technology in projects in presently and into the future. And the only thing I see in the estimate is LED light bulbs. Not significant enough, in my opinion. That's all I have on that subject. Although it's just, to me, it's just out of my imagination to be able to spend that kind of money on that building. Now on the Penn Credit Corporation that you're considering using for Carbon County debts, I did a quick Google search, and they're pretty heavy-handed with their collection techniques. Lots of complaints online. Better Business Bureau has almost 200 complaints. I don't know whether Carbon County wants their name associated with that type of heavy-handed collections. And lastly, I might be wrong, but the appearance is that a position was created for Scott Pompa as parking administrator, and then he was put into the position, and I thought you, Chris, were going to abstain from voting on that, but it seems that you did vote for it. And Scott Pompa being a longtime friend of yours, it just gives the wrong appearance, in my opinion. Thank you.
Any other guests concerning county business?
So my name's Cynthia Wernette. I'm from Jim Thorpe. I spoke last week on Penn Credit Corporation.
Point of order, a clarification. Are you here as a county employee or a private citizen?
A private citizen.
And are you on vacation time?
Yep.
Okay, just checking.
Okay. As I was saying, so my stance still remains that Penn Credit Corporation is an ineffective and inefficient way to collect delinquent court costs, fines, and restitution. This corporation operated illegally and harassed people between April of 2015 and May of 2021. I feel this speaks volumes about a commissioner and the office holder who want to hire this company to collect on behalf of the clerk of courts, who has defendants sentenced for illegal actions. Previously, Alliance One was hired to do the same. $1 million had been previously submitted to this company out of $6.5 million. I suspect that this failed since that is still an outstanding balance of $6.5 million after $1 million had been forwarded to this company to collect. I asked Tyra what resources were exhausted in collecting the outstanding debt. There are other ways for Bureau Collections to recuperate this money than just sending out delinquent letters. As I previously stated, it takes legwork to do it. While we're on the topic, how much did you actually collect? As you stated to the Times News, there are an outstanding debt of $25 million. How did you collect $19 million in less than 2 months? Thank you.
Are there any other guests concerning county business? Yes, sir.
I'd like to also, I'm sorry, Jeff Schneider, I'm from Kunkeltown. I'd like to echo Jerry's comments on the 410 address school building. I read through that ardently, and I think Boyle did a very nice job on estimating that. But what worries me considerably is there are a lot of things that were excluded, and I understand the reasoning behind that, furniture and things like that, but it's not a real true estimate of what you would spend on that building totally. And that scares me tremendously as a taxpayer in this town. heartily about that. My opinion is I think you should thank Boyle very heartily for that, their work, write them a check, and that should be the last money that would be spent on this project. Thank you.
Are there any other guests concerning county business?
Yeah, I'm Scott Turner from the county, and I'm here to talk about the county, the school building project. And I'm wondering why there weren't more bids. Just one contractor bid on that. And I think it would be only prudent to have other people.
Scott, there was no bidding process. This was a feasibility study. We contracted with Boyle to put together a team to assess the building, to provide the Board of Commissioners information so that we could make an informed decision in regards to moving forward with a purchase and renovation of that property.
Okay, well, I see a lot of expenses in there that I just don't agree with. And, you know, we're the taxpayers, and I think that we have to be considered when it comes to renovations of that building. I do agree that that is a good building to choose, but I just don't want to come off all negative. But I agree, I mean, I feel that you really should be working to keep the cost down. That's what I have
Thank
to
you,
say.
sir.
Thank you.
Any other guests? Yes, sir, one more time.
Thank you, I forgot one point, that instead of buying up properties in Jim Thorpe, why don't we build a parking garage, even though it would obstruct your view of the Lehigh River? It would mean revenue coming into the county instead of revenue going out. Thanks.
Well, I'll answer that briefly. I think the last estimate we had on building a parking garage was at $22,000
Of space.
per parking space. That is one reason you probably will not see that happen. That's an awful lot for parking. Initially, in another building project, we had looked at putting parking spaces in, and that was shot down, and a lot of opposition from people like yourself, and that project didn't go anywhere, so we were forced to go other avenues, so. But yeah, it's 22,000, and we'd have to sit and figure out how many cars we'd be able to squeeze in and how many years it would take to pay for itself. That's just not, that's, you know, and we're doing pretty good on the revenue side because there's so many visitors anymore, but if we put in a parking, the other problem, we put in a parking garage, probably 2 years that we're gonna lose that revenue as well. We get into the environmental issues and extending over the parking lot now. You know, it's been proposed in the traffic study that was conducted through the borough and NEPA, et cetera, that we do that. It is a consideration, but at that cost, I just kind of think it's out of the question right now, not to say it wouldn't happen in the future.
Yeah, Jerry, also, it's not the role of county government to provide parking for tourism. We provide parking for our employees. We are just fortunate to benefit from a large county lot that can help offset costs that otherwise the taxpayers would be paying. As Commissioner Notstein pointed out, the return on investment or the break-even point for a $22,000 to $24,000 parking spot is considerable. We charge $12 on the weekends, $8 during the day. So I think that's an unrealistic plan.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize it was that expensive, so thanks for those figures, but other communities have done it, and it's on Saturday, my wife has a business on Broadway in town, and her employee couldn't find a parking space, so she was a couple hours late. And then Monday, I had a contractor come to our house for an estimate, and he couldn't find a parking space. I had to have him park on our sidewalk. And you guys, as you said, you're benefiting from the tourism.
We are.
Yeah, and you could benefit even more, but, okay, thank you.
You know, the double-edged sword of living in the Switzerland of America, right? You know? Yeah.
Bad. And the other point there, I don't even know how accurate that cost is right now, because since we got that cost, a year ago or so, I think, the cost of construction, and part of the problem with the school building as well, the cost of construction and the availability of materials and product right now, and workers included, has increased tremendously over the last few months. And it really puts it out of range right now. So, but thanks for your comments, sir.
Thanks.
One more time, then we have to move on.
I'm sorry, I did forget. Seeing all that is just an estimate on the building, on the school building. What scares me the most is exactly what you just brought up, is supply chain things. And anybody bidding that building is going to know that. And those bids are gonna come up much higher than what they're showing in this estimate. As to whether you turn it down or not, that's where I'm saying I think that it should come to an end at some point and not pursue that any farther. Thank you.
One last call for anyone who has not spoken yet, okay. Okay, we'll move on.
Is Mr. Lowe here?
No, he is not. James hasn't arrived.
Do you want to, what would the board like to do? Would you like to hold off on the listed resolution?
Yeah, let's hold off in case he does come in.
Yeah.
We'll do it at the end,
Yeah.
just remind us.
Yeah. Or worst case, could table it, at the end of
Yeah,
at the
correct.
end of the day, just table it until we can find out,
Not that urgent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then our next item is the opening of bids for the used equipment, the vehicles. I'm gonna ask if the board would please delay these for a few minutes, so the bids are brought upstairs in the
Okay.
controller's office. Okay? So next, the report of executive sessions.
Excuse me. There was one executive session held on October 12th, Tuesday, 10 a.m. for personnel reasons.
Next item, department reports, the budget transfers.
Motion approved.
Second?
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The supplemental appropriation.
Motion approved.
Second?
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Expenditures, approval of payroll check numbers 73966 through 73987, and direct deposit check numbers 6035025 through 6035471 for the payroll paid through the payroll fund checking account for all county funds totaling $630,052.60. This is the payroll dated October 8th, 2021.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Approval of check numbers 223845 through 223985 for expenditures to the general fund clearing account totaling $1,616,510.67.
Motion approved.
Second?
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
The treasurer's report?
Move to accept.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. At this time, we'll recess our commissioners' meeting and go into our salary board, our recess salary board, reconvene that. Okay. Guests concerning salary board business at this time. Hearing none, we'll move on.
Report of executive sessions held?
There were none.
Next item, corrections, establish the position of one acting deputy warden at $25.09 per hour, grade S9, step I, effective October 14th, 2021.
Move to establish.
Second.
Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Okay, any further business?
Yes, I
Salary
have
board?
one. I'd like to move to modify the agenda with one additional motion. I need a second in order to make that motion. It's gonna be regards abolishing the acting parking administrator, senior technician position.
So, and because we're putting the other person in,
Right.
so it's,
He moves,
And it
on the
wasn't that-
14th, he becomes the actual if the vote.
yeah, I see no reason why it can't hold till, so it does get properly advertised.
Did he second it, or?
No,
No.
he did not say.
No second.
Again, yet last week I made the comment, I would only vote in favor of the acting in the sense that this week that would be terminated and a vote would be held so that I could abstain from his permanent designation as the parking administrator, senior technician. Jerry, and that goes to your comment, Jerry. Right?
I don't see a problem
Just
with,
for clarification, if you were to abolish that position and then come out and for some reason the personnel report would not be approved, there would be no position left for that person to remain in. So, am I correct, Solicitor?
yeah, possibly, I guess, because that's his current position, if it wouldn't be approved to go to the
Then
parking
you wouldn't have a
administrator.
status quo because the position would be abolished. My suggestion would be you abolish it at the next salary board meeting.
And that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, it's just a
to be
technicality,
safe,
'cause
it's, yeah.
Yeah, how can you abolish the position?
Well, I'll make it effective the 16th, contingent upon the approval of the personnel report.
That's
That would be
fine.
the motion I would
Right.
make.
I'm just making
Right.
a point that
Yeah.
if you were to abolish it and then not approve the personnel.
Sure.
When you came out of the salary board,
Yep.
that person would be in limbo.
All right, I'll second that.
So,
So clarify the motion.
okay, well, now I will make the motion, because first we have to vote on adding it.
Yes, first, your first vote is to modify the
Modify.
agenda.
And we have a first and a second.
Okay. So now we will pull the board. Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes,
Okay, so move to abolish the position of acting parking administrator, senior technician, effective 15 October, contingent upon approval in the personnel report of the nomination or selection of Scott Pompa as the parking administrator, senior technician.
I guess you're looking for me to second it. I'll second it.
Second? Okay. Mr. Severcek?
Yes.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes. Okay, any further business for the salary board then? Hearing none, we'll, I see no reason to recess it, we'll adjourn salary board until our monthly meeting in November.
Good.
Okay. Now reconvene the weekly meeting of the commissioners.
And the next item is the personnel report for county departments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes, with the exception of Scott R. Pompa to parking administrator, to which I'll abstain.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Next item is the acknowledgements for courts and row offices.
Motion acknowledge.
Second?
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Correspondence was received as listed. Copies will be made available to the press upon request. Adult probation. For approval and execution, the fiscal year 2021-2022 continuing county adult probation and parole grants application with the Pennsylvania Board of Probation and Parole for the improvement of adult probation services through the reimbursement of eligible salaries of professional staff. Total revenue, $60,640.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second?
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Children and Youth, for approval and execution, an addendum to extend the rates of the 2020-2021 purchase of service agreement with the Devereaux Foundation of King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, for 180 days from the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021, or until the finalization of the fiscal year 2021-2022 contract.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Clerk of Courts, for approval and execution, an agreement with Penn Credit Corporation to assist with the collection of costs, fines, and restitution on delinquent accounts after the Clerk of Courts Collection Division has exhausted all resources to collect outstanding debt. A fee of 25% would be added to the outstanding debt total per case at no cost to the county. The agreement shall continue until terminated by either party upon 60 days written notice to the other party.
So move to renew motion 21485 from last week, which is here labeled 21497.
I'll second that.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
I'll call for discussion. All right.
Can we after one vote, technically?
Technically called for discussion, there was none, so I guess.
Well, where was the call for discussion? Did I miss that?
Well, that
Well,
comes
we-
after when it's seconded.
Right.
And you normally say.
Right, yeah.
After the second is normally when you say it.
Mhm.
Could we have Rocky rescind his vote?
No, you can go to this, if you wanna, look, you're the chair, if you wanna have discussion, we can have discussion, there's no problem with that.
Okay. Okay, we'll have a discussion on that
Okay.
then. You know,
So-
and my question, my comments is, and I intend to vote no, is if Ms. Boney is collecting all that money that she says we are collecting, that 25 million, that you're doing such a good job, why would we need Penn credit to do this? And the other question or comment, and I have, is that you're putting a 25% fee added to the outstanding total debt. And these people are already having difficulty making these payments. And I know we have a system that we use to make credit plans, is that correct? That we have credit plans or payment plans, not credit, but payment plans for these people to come in and make that payment. So I see no reason that we have to contract, and plus the concerns of the company. Those are my comments.
So these criminals aren't making payments. That's the whole point. And victims are suffering because these criminals aren't making payments. The taxpayer is being penalized because these criminals aren't making payment. The county is being penalized because these criminals are not paying, are not being able to be collected upon. I want to thank Mr. Rich Templin, the president of Penn Credit, Mr. Tom Foley, the CEO, who gave me the gift of their time and insight to have a conversation in regards to their work with the Pennsylvania's AG office, Pennsylvania Department of Revenue, talking to me about issues and concerns about collection agencies and how they deal with processes and procedures with these accounts. We, as a county, we as elected officials have a moral obligation to the taxpayer, to the county, to the victims, to go after these funds. Anything short of that speaks to the person who votes against us. I'm going to tell you, we have a moral obligation to do this. 25%, 20%, it's all in the same ballpark. No collection agency is going to do this for less. This is a historical number. Municipalities all across the country use this very organization. The same one that you can look up, Dun & Bradstreet, Better Business Bureau. How many collection agencies have rave reviews? Right? None of them. You know what? I'm a middle-class kid. I grew up having phone calls at home from a guy named Maurice. You remember Maurice, Mom?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, right? Waiting, hoping the tips were going to be a little bit better at Hojo's the next night so we could pay our bills. So I've been there as a young boy. These are criminals. They need to pay. We have a moral obligation of a society of rules to make them pay. This is the only way justice is going to be served on these individuals. We go out, get after them, and collect the debt that they owe to society, to the victims, to the county and taxpayers.
Question for Ms. Boney. Will the people that are on the payment plan, have they been given the people, or all these people given the option of that payment plan?
May I speak?
That's what I'm
I have
asking.
something
I'm
prepared.
asking the question. Are those people, are all these people given the option or advised of their option to make those payments?
I have something to say on that, and I will answer your question.
Do you mind if I say something before she gets into it? Last week when I was running the meeting and I said we tabled this and I said I needed more information on this, and this was put on right here before we came into the meeting.
I also emailed that to you, I didn't know if you saw it, that's why.
Well, I get like 800 emails a week. Everybody that has a problem has my phone number and they always call me. And it doesn't matter if it's 10 o'clock at night, they call me. And if this was that important of a reason, but I'm looking back at this, that, and I see where Chris is coming from, that not everyone is gonna have a great, report. But I look back at this, I think it's a little bit confusing here, because if we turn this over to them, then the way I understood it, that if they don't do anything within a certain amount period of time, it comes back to the courts again. So how is this gonna work for us if it's just going 6 months? People are gonna void for 6 months and it's gonna come back to the judges again. So what are we doing here? I mean, and like I said, if it is a great idea, I mean, I could see it explained, but I think we have to go to the courts and say, okay, is this a good idea or is it not a good idea? We don't need these people juggled back and forth for 2 years and nobody knows where the payments are coming from. And that's why okay, and that's fine.
If I may have the opportunity to speak, I'll be happy to share it with you.
Just a second. So, solicitor, clarify for me, a conversation was held with the clerk of courts, representation from the courts. Is that correct?
Yeah, court administrator.
With the court administrator, who speaks on behalf of the courts. Were there any objections made to this company by the individual who spoke on behalf of the courts at that meeting? No. Okay. Now I'd love to hear from Mrs. Boney.
Okay, great, thank you
think
for
we
the
all would.
opportunity to speak. First and foremost, I don't want to use this platform as a debate against my opponent here, but I would like clarification on, once again, the false accusations and lack of knowledge in regards to my office. The clerk of courts do not sentence defendants, the courts do. Our collection and payments and disbursements are public record. You asked me for more information last week, Rocky, and I prepared that information for you and others. The conversation held last week prior to the motions highlighted an educational need for what exactly happens in the Collections Division. The Collections Division is responsible for collecting court cost fines, restitution owed to victims, taxpayers, state, boroughs, and municipalities. At the conclusion of the backlog, there was $25 million outstanding in funds, which is 6.5 of that is delinquent. The previous administration had antiquated processes in place for waiting for defendants to contact the office, included multiple mailing notices and minimal communications and no pursuit of delinquency accounts. Historically, the longer the funds stand outstanding delinquent, the harder they are to collect on. For this reason, the best way to address the issue of delinquency is prevention. For that reason, the collections coordinator directly sets up a payment plan within 10 days after the court order and cost sheet is mailed to the defendants, as well as laying out a structured plan for those delinquencies. The Clerk of Court's office also introduced technological improvements in 20 and 2021 that streamlined the processes, improved communications, and helped delay and remediate the communications of those defendants. Most recently, through collaboration with our Adult Probation Department, the use of their software as of July 2021, we can provide an option of electronic delinquency notifications for defendants. For this process to be successful for all parties, the defendant must have a mobile phone number and email address on file. These notifications are sent out the 10th of every month. The defendants still get a mailed copy of their delinquency notice if they're not paid on 10 days after that SMS correspondence, if payment had not been made. Both the SMS and mailed delinquency notices have decreased monthly, demonstrating success rates of our collections division's new processes in decreasing those delinquent accounts. Additionally, the Clerk of Court's office accepts e-payments. This service has improved the ease and efficiency for these defendants to pay. However, delinquency in this county is still an issue. Considering previous administration set the precedent and did not actively pursue further, as well as some of the backlog-produced cases that are multiple years old and we no longer have valid addresses or phone numbers, which is something they are supposed to keep up on. They court ordered to say to our department what your current address and phone number is. This not only impacts the county, but also those who are victims and are owed restitution. If the county does not receive payments, we cannot pay out to those victims. Processes now are once a delinquent account receives 3 consecutive mailed notifications, their case is forwarded to Alliance One Collection Agency. It's a collection agency within our case management system, CPCMS, at no cost to the taxpayer. They do have a fee tacked onto that for use of alternative collection methods. As I stated, historically, the longer funds are delinquent, the harder they are to collect. These are court-ordered cost fines and restitution. While I stated before, I do sympathize with those individuals that these situations have happened and these individuals are not paying. And they basically lost communication with us, therefore we don't have the means to contact them, and we've exhausted every avenue we can. If they are denying all of those notices and not paying, we've exhausted all of our efforts, and the outstanding collection agency is our next option. If I may add, I had conversations with 2 of the 3 judges thus far. They do not do delinquency notices because they are not cost effective. The defendants don't show up, and their dockets, their calendars are full. They are, the ones I spoke to, are on board with this because they are court ordered to pay these cost fines and restitution to these outstanding individuals. These $6.5 million are old cases. We've exhausted multiple text messages. We've exhausted multiple letters. We've exhausted our resources within Alliance One. This would be the last effort to try to collect for those individuals. In the event those cases come back, we then need to revisit the courts and ask the judges, what do you want to do at this point? But taking those extra avenues and the judges don't have free schedule time in their calendars, this is the best option to try to get on those very old cases. So our office is very adamant and taking every precaution going forward to contact these individuals. But when we've exhausted all of our resources, this is our last option in trying to get money for those individuals.
Could you clarify, Alliance One is part of the process?
Yes.
Are they associated with AOPC?
Yes, they are.
Okay, so that's the AOPC collection agency.
Correct.
So when you guys are not successful for whatever reason, it goes to Alliance One, AOPC.
Correct.
Affiliated. Then now the last resort would be Penn Credit.
Correct.
Right.
Thank you.
Ms. Boney, are you answering with your information provided specific questions that were asked to you post last week's meeting?
Yes, I had asked to give more of background detail of what we do in the office, and that's what I had prepared. Also, I did email that all of you this morning, as well as I emailed to you Rich Templin's letter, as well as his collector's pledge of what the company stands for,
Yeah.
as well as the flow chart of what our office used and is currently using to taking those measures into getting those collections for our county and individuals that are owed that money.
Okay, so without Penn Credit, what's gonna happen to this $6 million that is potentially sitting out there?
I can't for surely say, but I can estimate that will just sit there stagnant until the courts decide what we're gonna do and means of going after these individuals to pay.
And seeming that they don't do delinquency notices,
Hearings.
right, nothing would occur.
That's
Again, that's just,
Yep.
thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm getting what, and I said, people cannot get away with not paying. But my concern is how it's gonna, like I said, how it's gonna go back and forth. And to me, are you telling me like the judges are on board with this, recommending it? And so is the court administrator? Like, what is their view on this? I
No
mean,
one has objected. There's been no negative comment as to no, we cannot do that, because we already are doing it with a collection agency within our CPCMS case management system. This is a second avenue as an option to try to collect on these very old cases that people, you can't find them. They have other resources. Penn Credit has other resources to go and locate these individuals. Those programs cost the county, if I were to put in a budget request, thousands of dollars. I'm not willing to do that. Last year, I saved the county, the taxpayers, $96,000+ through my expense budget savings, fiscal responsibility. And now, going forward, this is a way that we can utilize this company without any additional expenses in my budget.
Mr. Armstrong, you are here, you represent the court. I asked the solicitor if there was any concerns or issues raised that would inform us or give us reason not to support this. Were any objections raised by the judges, as far as you know, in regards to Penn Credit? Or the process even? Sorry, Greg, you know, you show up, you know?
The court's been very aware that Tyra was trying Alliance One because that is the AOPC
Yeah.
primary vendor. And we're aware of a statewide contract for all counties that choose to use Alliance One.
Yeah.
And that after a 6-month period, I believe,
3 months.
3 months,
Uh-huh.
sorry, has to rotate to a different collection agency. And that's, I guess, where Penn Credit came into the question.
Right.
As far as Penn Credit, we don't know anything about them.
Right.
And it's, collections is really Tyra's, one of her responsibilities as clerk of court, and so that's where we've left it.
Thanks, Rick. Yeah.
We all know that all them funds that are owed to the county, that excuse me, a great percentage of them will never be collected.
That is a possibility. With Alliance One, they
Not
were
a
only able to
possibility.
collect
Historically,
$7,500.
a lot of those people are sitting in prison. They're habitual criminals.
Well, if I can correct you on that, Wayne, the ones that we send to the outside collection agency through Alliance One, they're not incarcerated individuals. They have been released. So these outstanding accounts, none of those individuals are incarcerated. They are out walking the streets. To our knowledge, last updates that we got.
Call for the vote.
Discussion continues. April 1979, right? American hostages held in Iran, right? The greatest failure is the failure to try, right? And we tried.
That was my next statement. If you don't try, you won't know, only because there is no type of penalty to get out of the contract. It's given an option, see what they can do. Again, these are our oldest accounts. 19 million are actively set up on payment plans. Of that 25 million, paying monthly, and that's where we're going.
Okay, so we had one vote. Mr. Arner, your vote was no.
Quick question. Would it be, I don't wanna make this a political issue, maybe we should table this for 1 month, my suggestion.
It's not a political issue, it's the responsibility of the office to collect for these individuals.
Wait, there's this discussion with the board, not with the public.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So, I think, are you making a motion to table?
I would make a motion to table this.
So then is there a second to table?
Yeah, and I would
We
second
get a
that.
period of time associated with that, just to
Yeah,
clarify,
and like I said, we can't let
Well,
people get away with
Do
it.
you wanna make,
Wait.
we'll make a motion?
Wait,
Okay.
You understand that we're making a motion, that he's making a
Yeah,
motion?
yeah, I agree,
Wayne
it
is
definitely
making
has to be.
For how long?
To make it 4 weeks. That way we'll have the official tally of all votes, et cetera, and everything else, so.
who's
Okay.
the second?
I'll second.
Maybe give me more time to talk to the judges and courts.
What happens to the middle of the board hold with the first motion?
I guess I'll have
The
to.
table stops then.
Okay.
And I like,
Okay.
and
Now we're gonna
can I
vote.
still
Now we're
have?
gonna vote.
Oh, okay.
Motion to
Mr.
table.
Motion to table for 4 weeks. Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
No.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Okay.
Okay, would you want to do the vehicles now or put them at the end of the meeting?
Right before solicitor, let's do that, okay?
Okay. Okay, next item is planning and development. For approval, the fiscal year 2021 CDBG projects for entitlement and non-entitlement communities as per the attached list.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
For approval and adoption and execution, the fiscal year 2021 CDBG resolution.
Move to approve, adopt, and execute.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Vehicle fleet financing for approval. A proposal submitted by Enterprise Fleet Management of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania for one additional vehicle under the Vehicle Fleet Financing and Maintenance Master Open-End Equity Lease Agreement approved on April 27, 2017, agenda item number 17-159. Vehicle and monthly cost is for a term of 48 months, 2022 Chrysler Voyager at $697.90 per month to be assigned to the Children and Youth Services Office.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. At this time, let's go back to the opening of bids.
One of these. Take two for each one here.
Thank you.
Item one is, if I'm correct, item one would be the 95 Chevy van, correct?
Is that right? Mark, is that
Forty.
right? Because the vehicles aren't identified on the bid sheet.
I don't know. Not sure.
Well, how are we gonna calculate that? How do we
I have no
identify it?
idea. Bid for used equipment.
I move that we table for 1 week. I mean, without knowing the vehicles, again, I don't think,
Yeah, it's,
Yeah,
it's an
just
issue.
weren't they
It's not
identified on the
properly
envelopes?
marked, is it?
Bid for used equipment, number one. Bid
Oh,
for
so-
used equipment, number two.
Would that coincide with the advertisement?
No,
That's,
Yeah, number one is,
doesn't go by that list then.
I don't even have that.
that's why I moved to table 1 week and
Table, what do we do? We just hold them?
Controller holding it,
Yeah.
delay the opening.
But how are we gonna determine
which one's which.
Which one's which?
without opening it?
Yeah, you won't.
You
Well,
won't.
I think, but if you identify, I think what you should, okay, so it is number one here.
yeah, on here
We
it
just don't
says,
know what it is,
it
though.
says used
One,
equipment number one, used equipment number two,
Yeah.
three, so if it's on the envelope,
Was there a bid document stating which, vehicle was number one, which one was number two?
I don't think so.
Because they have them labeled on the outside of the
Yeah.
envelope.
Yeah.
Right.
If you,
Right.
They
if you
did
can
that
match
right.
that this was put out as vehicle number one,
Yeah.
then you would have envelopes for vehicle number one.
Right.
Because obviously someone knew that to
Yeah.
put these together.
Yeah, there had to be something because it's
Were there standard?
vehicle one, vehicle two.
Okay, so we can do it this way, they're identified on here, so why don't we
Okay,
just
we're gonna
announce
match
it?
'em up.
We'll open
Yeah.
it up.
Okay, so I'll rescind the motion to table.
Item number
You
one.
got that.
Got it.
I think
Got
it's
it.
official, I now have more pen ink on my agenda than I do agenda.
Okay, item number one is a 1995 Chevrolet van.
Yeah, ZW Zaprasny out of New Ringgold, Pennsylvania. The amount bid, $582. Next bidder is Tim Bernhardt of Jim Thorpe. He just wanted to make sure nobody see it. Okay, the amount bid, $319.42.
Vehicle number two is 2003 Chevrolet Tahoe 4x4.
Number three, number two,
Yes,
number two.
yes.
Okay, and we have three bidders for that. ZW Zaprasny. The amount bid, $886. Next bidder, Tim Bernhardt, Jim Thorpe. The amount bid, $514.29. Next bidder is John Selby out of Tamaqua, Pennsylvania. $301.
Vehicle number three is a 2001 Dodge Dakota.
First bidder is J.W. Zaprasny. The amount bid, $728. Next bidder, John Selby, Tamaqua. The amount bid, $351. And the last bidder on that one is Ken Sensi out of Weatherly, Pennsylvania. The amount bid, $200.
Number four is a 1990 GMC diesel dump truck.
First bidder is J.W. Zaprasny in Ringgold. The amount bid, $2,046. Next bidder is John M. Selby, Tamaqua. The amount bid, $1,251. Next bidder, Ken Sensi, out of Weatherly. The amount bid, $2,000. And last bidder for that one is Brad May, out of Lehighton. The amount bid, $552.
Item number five is a 2008 Ford Crown Victoria.
First bidder, J.W. Zaprasny. $829. Next bidder, Jonathan Gulla, Lehighton, Pennsylvania. $173.65.
Item number 6 is a 2010 Ford Crown Victoria.
First bid, J.W. Sprasny. The amount bid, $811. Next bidder, Tim Bernhard, Jim Thorpe. $207.
And the final item, number 7, is a 2010 Ford Crown Victoria.
First bidder, J.W. Sprasny. $831. Next bidder, Tim Bernhardt. Amount bid, $204.
I would entertain a motion to award all 7 bids to Surprising.
I'll second that.
No, I
Oh.
entertain, I asked for it, because someone would make it.
Oh.
I'll make it if you don't want to.
I'll make it.
Your second?
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Come and get them now.
You got 10 minutes.
Okay, the next item is the solicitor's report.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation, banner request for approval and execution. A banner request was submitted to St. John's Lutheran Church of Jim Thorpe for 50th Annual Switchback Scamper, 10K Run, 5K Walk, October 24, 2021. The banner request is for the period October 14, 2021 through October 24, 2021.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Second.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
School district building for consideration, provide official notification to the Jim Thorpe School District of the county's decision relative to the administration building located at 410 Center Avenue, Jim Thorpe, pursuant to the letter of intent.
Move to modify the motion. Let me go ahead and read that, because I know we're probably going to go to discussion anyhow, but let me go ahead and, so I would move that we provide
Need a second to that modification?
Yeah.
I'll second.
To modify it, yeah. Right, yeah. So, move to notify the Jim Thorpe School District of the county's decision to purchase the administration building located at 410 Center Avenue in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, as outlined in the letter of intent, and with a final FMV, fair market value, purchase price, or not to exceed a fair market value purchase price, negotiated in consideration of the inspection report results specific to roof deficiencies and necessary abatement.
Want to repeat that again, sorry, so I fully understand it.
Yeah, so basically, the motion is to notify of a purchase with a final purchase price not to exceed fair market value, and negotiated in consideration of the inspection report results specific to the roof deficiencies and necessary abatement. I would not be comfortable purchasing the building at the current price in the LOI, and I don't think it's is clear enough identifying if we would move forward that we wouldn't simply give them the 517.
So just to clarify the motion, would it be, you mentioned fair market value would be not to exceed the fair
Correct.
market value that we have in the
It would-
letter of intent?
It would not to exceed a fair market value taken into consideration, because the fair market value at this time does not take into consideration the abatement and roof deficiencies.
So I thought all of that was in the estimate. It showed, wasn't it 136,000 to take the lead and
No,
and
no,
asbestos out, or-
that's different. It wasn't in the appraisal.
The roof.
The roof, or there was no, in the appraisal, they did nothing. They didn't look at paint, asbestos, or any potential hazardous material that might be in the building. And that does impact the fair market value, the final fair market value of that.
Okay, but just for my, I think to clarify the motion, when we talk about, but the fair market value negotiation would not exceed what's in the letter of intent. In other words, it wouldn't be higher than that.
Well, that's correct.
Right.
It would
That's
not.
what I'm saying, so it would be not fair market value,
Not to exceed,
right?
but in consideration of,
Right.
yes,
Okay.
yep. Fair market value not to exceed what's in the letter intent with due consideration for the report results.
So this is basically a motion to buy the building?
Right.
Okay.
Right,
buy the
so
building.
if we would
And I would
agree
like
to-
to have a little bit of discussion
Yeah,
on
oh,
that
yeah,
before,
yeah.
before this even happens.
Yeah, well, that's,
Right, but right now, you just have a motion.
yeah.
Okay.
I just wanna make sure, Rocky, if we decide to go ahead, that there's no thought that we're gonna stick to 517 and not consider
But the way
the
that that
results
reads,
of the resort.
we're gonna buy it if that comes back. It should be that we could have a further discussion on it if we wanna buy it. We're committed to it if this comes back and they explain it to us.
No, the problem with the way the motion is written, it was written so it could go either way, but that's not a motion. A motion has to say either we're going to or we're not. So what I did in order to go to the point of discussion based upon the reality that we're in right now, make a motion to buy it, or I could say, I could just as easily, change it, but I think, again, this allows it to go to discussion based on the letter of intent, which was, we have an intent to purchase, therefore.
And you can tell me if I'm wrong, but just to respond to attorney, or,
Yeah.
See, you finally got one.
Yeah.
The motion is to go ahead with the purchase.
The motion is, not the commotion, you said commotion, the motion.
There is a commotion.
Yeah.
The motion is to go forward with the purchase, but to renegotiate the purchase price for something less than what's in the agreement,
Right.
the letter of intent.
Should this be
Okay.
approved, should this
Should be
motion
approved. Should
pass,
be approved.
which
That's
we
the-
haven't voted on yet.
Right.
Correct, yep. That's why we hire you. Good job. Yep.
Okay, would you like my discussion on this?
So that's been the second to the motion.
Yeah, Wayne did.
Oh, Wayne did.
Yeah, I think,
Okay.
yeah, I think Wayne did.
Well, then you have discussion.
Okay, I'm just gonna give a review to everybody of what I've seen of this project. I mean, I've seen other projects that we spend too much money over. And I just wanna clarify a little bit of the information on the information that has been put out there to the people. There was like some information out there that the 44 building was too inexpensive of a building, per person. And, the 44 building, first floor was designed for elections and a conference room. 400 square feet of it, a voting machine storage area, 200 square feet, a paper storage area for ballots, 550 square foot conference room with a capacity of 104. 250 square foot, a workroom to process the election paperwork. This is an altogether application than workstation cubicles and should never be compared to $1 per value on a building. On the 410 Center Avenue property, there's a version of 9 million, which it's slightly over 9, and the other one's 8 million, which it's 999,000. I mean, you might as well say it's $8 million. The $8 million version, children and youth would have 1,820 square feet on the first floor, 6,384 square feet on the second floor, for a combined of 8,204 square feet. Aging would have the remaining 3,374 square feet on the first floor. And that was without the option, the $9 million was doing other renovations that would have been done to the building and plus to the parking lot. With proposed 50 children and youth employees and 18 aging employees for a total of 68, there are only 62 parking spots. My question in this picture, who would think of this, like even for the traffic that is going up to that building, you can't even drive up that road without pulling over, and where did aging ever come into this factor? We're bringing 18 more people to Jim Thorpe, where we're trying to get people out of Jim Thorpe that don't have to be here to ease the traffic. And a little bit of history on children and youth. Children and Youth currently has 4 caseworkers without a workspace. Another within the next year, we're going to hire 9. And that is with the problems that we have in that department, and that is what the state is telling us to do. You know, and these were things that should have been taken care of years ago. I mean, I build a house, if I get 2 houses, I hire more employees. There was never anything updated, upgraded in this department. And they went from 32 cases down to, I think the state wants you at 19 now. Like, this should have been stepped up to. And I'm not taking anything away from the past commissioners. I mean, they looked at things and they wanted to balance the budget. But, I have, and the commissioners, in fact, when this all started off, I had this property that I presented, and we sort of put that to the wayside. But now I brought it back up to them last week because this here, to me, $9 million is an awful lot of money. And I have the alternate plan, and that would save the taxpayers money. St. Luke's owns a building on Iron Street, Lehigh, approximately 9,641 square feet that the county could purchase for $510. I think, did everybody hear that? $510 that could be moved into tomorrow. I mean,
10,000.
yeah, 510,000. So 3,530. Yeah. So. So 3,543 square feet is available immediately, which would accommodate the increase in employees to the department. And this is something that we need this space now, not in 2023. Then there's an additional 2,128 square feet that will be vacated in November. And remaining to that is another additional 2,650 square feet that St. Luke's has their wound care center in. They're willing to stay there and pay us rent until they have their what they have to do to finish at their hospital in Franklin Township. And then the Children and Youth Department would be self-sufficient at a location by themselves with plenty of parking, and we're getting people out of Jim Thorpe. And and just to go a little bit beyond that, I just want to tell everybody what we're spending here in the county, what I'm looking at, okay? The money for renovations, we have $6,869,140 to renovate the courthouse. $5 million for the training center, possibly $1 million at the prison for safety and security issues, and that could be more. This building here itself, every day we're repairing, not every day, but once a week, we're probably repairing something here. The plumbing is bad. You know, my room is like a refrigerator. People are complaining about everything in the whole building. Even our administrator, how we adjust their heat, we disconnect the vent, and then we hook it back up. We're not even taking care of the buildings that we have now, and this is a tremendous amount of money. And we sit here every week, okay? And before I even get into that, we never really had a discussion with the controller or a financial advisor over this. Although we did have discussion of the American Rescue Plan money. But this money is to help Carbon County till 2026, not to be abused at the blink of an eye. And every week we sit here and we talk about children and youth, okay? Staff, space, we need all of this. From the state, we get 80% reimbursed for children and youth. Now, this additional $2 million that they put in the budget can go to any building. It's not designated for the one in Lehighton or the one here at Jim Thorpe. That goes with the department. And if my feeling to this is, if we overspend, we're the problem, not the children and youth. And that's all I have to say.
I have a lot of things I want to point out to the constituents. There are so many moving parts in this puzzle. You talk mostly about children and youth there, but we have to consider the other offices that are extremely overcrowded, especially you know, with COVID. The offices we had the higher caseloads in were the offices that were extremely overcrowded, being the sheriff, the district attorney, and let's see, which is the other one? I forgot which other one. Public defenders. That were extremely overcrowded, and it goes back to a little bit to what Rocky says is the courthouse definitely needs renovations, and we are looking at upgrading the air handling and air quality is a lot of the system. People are shoulder to shoulder. Where we had more space in a lot of the offices, it was we didn't have as many problems. The children and youth, you know, Rocky was right there. We currently have 29, I count, positions open. I think we had a resignation last week that was accepted. So at 28, but we have 29 positions we were hoping to fill. And it will be over 36 for sure next year. Our projected budget, you know, in children and youth, what we spend in that office now, 2021 budget, which ended the end of June, was $5,727,000 roughly. Our budget for 21-22 is $6,300,597 projected. But this includes that $2.5 million that we were looking at, which is for renovations of a building, etc., would still be about $7 million in the budget in children and youth. These are the issues the counties are faced with making decisions. We have a district attorney's office. It's overcrowded, as I mentioned, 15 people. If you go in that office, and I did take pictures, I wish I had them printed out beforehand. I did not get the time. But the public defender is another one. You have 5 attorneys, 3 clerical staff in 1 or 2 rooms. 2 rooms. How can you work with your clients in 2 rooms? District attorney has no rooms available to work with others. Sheriff's department is overcrowded. They have 28 people. Who knows what that's going to expand to? And the more buildings we have, the more security we need at those buildings. So that also pushes things up as well. Aging, you know, we talked a little bit about that. We're currently at 20 people in the aging office. They're overcrowded. And, you know, so we're really have a lot of problems there. Some of the problems, children and youth, Rocky talked about the caseloads. That's because of mandates, legislation that increased the documentation, time involved in investigations, the amount of people who must be interviewed, and also increases the reporting requirements of our workers. Caseworker turnover due to stress and to moving to higher paid positions in other counties because they get paid so much more. And that has been one of our challenges. We did address that a little bit this year, probably not enough, and we're gonna have to continue to look at those. Those are the ones we have been going through a great deal of stress the last 3 or more years with Nero, Northeast Regional Office of Human Services, and issues and citations with children and youth. We had a large turnover in that office as well, and some of it was management. We have a new person, a director there, compared to the other offices, and the amount of people she supervises and what she puts up with is far underpaid compared to a lot of the other law offices, and I think we all agree on that. And we certainly have to address that here because we don't want to lose her. Some of the other things, I talked about the COVID, yeah, we talked about, people keep jumping, well, why don't we go virtual? And it's not easy, as people may think, especially in a county office where you have less people and we have public coming in all the time. We have 3, 4, 5, 6 people in an office. A lot of our offices are a lot of interaction between the offices, such as clerk of courts, the pathonetary's office, and DA, public defender, and so many offices have to be within a short walking distance of the courthouse because they're in and out of the courthouse every day. Suggested, that we rent other spaces. That is a problem. I've been here 22 years now, and in almost every case, we have had issues with landlords in getting repairs or work done. To me, it is also a waste of taxpayer dollars because those people are putting money in their pocket and they also have to pay the taxes. So it's costing us more for not owning buildings. And one of the things I'd like to do, possibility, look at maybe some offices, combining some offices. Yeah, definitely we have to look at moving some offices out of Jim Thorpe. It's a major issue. Courthouse renovations, I know we're looking at another possible space to conduct a temporary courtroom. If we do those renovations, we're projected, 10 to 12 months. So we have 3 courtrooms now, possibly one of them, the latest one to be renovated, would be very little interference possibly, except when they upgrade the power system, the electrical system. We have asbestos issues in the building, things like, excuse me, of that nature. And I already mentioned the air conditioning, heating system. The air quality in that system has not been good to begin with, and that causes problems, more health issues to the employees. So we get into those high costs that you talked about, sir, in renovating buildings. And it's extremely unfortunately, we wouldn't do anything sooner. It has really skyrocketed. But when you're looking at these renovations compared to, and I'm not talking I don't even know how I'm gonna vote yet today, to tell you the truth, because this is such a difficult decision, because there are so many moving costs and costs to the taxpayers. To the first estimate we had, I think, was $240 per square foot for renovations, $400 a square foot for construction. And we also have that issue of going out, okay, where are we gonna build children's youth? Yeah, we can move them out of town because they don't have to be inside the courtroom like they used to, because they have their own hearing officers and that, et cetera now. So what can we move out of town? Should we take a pause, look at other buildings? I know, people are telling me, hey, go up to Kovach, yeah, maybe 1 or 2 of those buildings. But again, I go back to with this security and having too many buildings as well. The building projects we have looked at since I've been here, and I brought this up before, was we had a building that was appraised at $300-some thousand in the informal appraisal process. They appealed, or it was over 400, I'm sorry, it was over 400,000. They appealed informal before we got the appraisals from the company, and they had it lowered to less than 400,000. 1 year later, when we took over the reassessment of all the properties, they wanted to sell us the building. It would not budge off of $825,000. After we go out, we look at the building, we get appraisals. We looked at other bank space from the bank, renting the upstairs, putting a walkway into the courthouse. We looked at it twice already, getting a cost estimate, what it would cost to do that, to try to stay locally. That didn't work out. We were offered a commercial business here in Jim Thorpe, rental. But they wanted what we have to do by county code, go out there, get appraisals, what did it cost us per square foot to rent, which came in higher, And they wanted us to pay, I think it was at that time, well over $150,000 in renovations out of our pocket for a building we don't even own. So we have tried to purchase other buildings. We tried to put up the other building with the parking garage, and we got nothing but flack from a lot of the residents here in Jim Thorpe on that, you know, and the stained glass and everything else. We go into the 44 building, which is looking pretty good, I must say. It's expensive, it better look good.
Right.
But, and it's almost complete now, but no one wanted to tear that building down. You know, the same people that opposed tearing it down, they didn't want to tear it down then they didn't want us renovating, so what the heck do you do? You know, I understand all your concerns, because no matter what we do, we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. It's just so difficult of a decision, and in my 22 years, I think the other biggest decision was selling Weatherwood at that time. And I think this is far worse than that. How do you tell over 200, or about 250 employees that don't work for them anymore? You know, the hardest day of my life when I had to go up and tell them that. This is even worse, I think. But I'm gonna have half the constituents yelling at one side and half on the other side, so. The ones I wanna listen to, I'll put on my good side.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it is, you know, so, there's other moving parts, and just a few, and I wanted to take the time today to really educate the public that, hey, we have looked at all these issues. We looked at other buildings, we were offered other buildings, but either renovations, cost, et cetera, it knocked us out time and time again over the years. So we do have to make a move, especially in children and youth right now. Probably common knowledge, we have our issues with citations, on the verge of losing the license. Things are finally looking better for us after hiring more people, retaining more people, looking at new space for them, and you're really improving the process in the children and youth office. If we would have lost our license, our reimbursement would have went from 80% down to 50% of that current $6 million budget, so let's say. So we have some serious concerns and priorities we have to look at. So we'll wait and see the day after the vote and see what happens.
I look forward to take a couple minutes of additional time. Obviously, it's extremely important that we do due diligence. We involve the public in the conversations to understand their position in regard to that, because as it makes us better, allows us to make better informed decisions, right? Commissioner Notstein was talking about the 76 Susquehanna Street project, right? Take us back to March 2018, then in 2019, the board decided to kind of set it aside and let this board determine kind of the way ahead. At that point, as a two-level parking garage with about 24,000 square feet of office and conference space, and even a courtroom up there. That was based on a want assessment, not a needs assessment, right? You go out and ask, what do you need? And they tell you what they really want instead of need. But nonetheless, it started identifying that we needed at least 24,000 square feet. But guess what? That office really wasn't going to meet what has occurred recently with like children and youth services.
So what's to say things aren't going to change between now and the time we move into
even start, right? So our needs are great. You know, in January 6th of 2019, I did make a motion that we kind of do what I call a strategic pause, and for 90 days look at our building plan. We didn't do that formally, but nonetheless, because of the way contracts play out and how discussions is, we probably spent months, before we got anywhere close to any decision of how we wanted to move ahead with 76 and 44. And we came up with a pretty good plan. But I'll also highlight, for the public who was not involved in the internal conversations, we did look at many buildings back in March of 2019. I mean, you have the YMCA building, the Sargent building, the school district office, back then. Looking at, could we build in Packard and Yards? We all know it's a special flood hazard area. You can't really put anything down there. But nonetheless, due diligence was being done by this board. I may not have agreed with ultimately where we went, but nonetheless, we had those thoughtful conversations. So we aren't approaching this decision willy-nilly by any means. And look, the fact is, that's $2.66 million. It's destined for 10 people. I don't care how you slice it, conference room, putting voting equipment. That's what it comes down to. That's just a fact, all right? So that's that building. I like pictures, yeah, because I'm accustomed to drawing. I learned that up there in that building, right, on the hill. But let's talk a little bit about, right, that was $267 a square foot is what we were getting down here. All right, let's talk about that building right there, right? Carbon County Human Services Building, all right? At least that's what we're putting kind of in budget or request to support that. Oh, well over 32,000 square feet of usable space at this current time. The price per square foot, we can get it down to anywhere between $246, $278 per square foot, right? Depending on the plan we pursue, depending on how much parking is needed. Parking's a problem. Easily, we can get to 52 spots. Tell you we try to get to 62 spots, it goes up real sharp. We want to add another 50 spots to that. It cost us just under $1 million for one parking level to go up there. But again, that is something that has been considered and looked at. And I talk about the 32,000 square feet and its ability to hold up to 83 personnel employees, or a low of 63, which would more or less just be aging and children and youth. There's an additional 10,000 square feet available. And I'm saying that's ballpark. It's actually 9538 square feet available for the future. That's enough to host another 40 to 60 individuals up there. And that's converting the gymnasium into usable space, something that at this time we decided to leave alone. And part of that was because we felt that could continue to be, let me call it, a space that can be utilized by Carbon County residents, by our seniors, for our judicial sales, for our court operations when we're doing renovation, and it could be used for an emergency shelter. I'll bet you the Jim Thorpe residents don't know there's not an emergency shelter currently on the hill in Jim Thorpe other than the Dillies. How many people can you fit in the Dillies if it's not a bingo night? Not too many in an emergency situation, right? So we want to retain that gym, right? Continuity of operations, emergency shelter. The space that children and youth needs is just under 13,000 square feet. That building down on Iron Street doesn't come close. It's about 25% short of the needs of children and youth services. This building here takes care of us today, and it takes care of us well into the future. Well into the future. I'm talking decades, 30 or 40 years into the future. But again, someone has to bite the bullet, not worry about, November 2023, right? And bite the bullet and make the hard decision about what is in the best interest long-term of this community. All right, funding. There's $12.2 million of American Rescue Plan. We kind of have about $1 million of it kind of set aside. We have one project down in the deeds office. We set some aside for our employees because of COVID issues, and like to do a GAP grant. But the fact is, what we're seeing, space utilization, American Rescue Plan, that fits right in it. You gotta get people spaced out. You gotta give them better ventilation systems. You need to give them better work environments. Think about retention. Anyone who's ever left a place because of the work environment, right? People say salary, salary, salary. Well, actually, you'll see higher on that continuum, right, or to the left or right of it, quality of work environment and leadership, right? This is working towards creating a better work environment to help retain county employees. This right here, $6.89 million for the renovations. But here's the exception: if it's vacant. If it's totally vacant, there's not a person in that building, you will add to it, according to our construction consultant, you will add about 33% if you do this piecemeal, right? Moving people around, shuffling them around. So we're talking a $9 to $10 million project for MEP, right? Mechanical, electrical, plumbing. Understand, in this county, up until recently, I've never heard MEP as the priority need. The priority need has been space, right? Get the space because of the growth of county government. So again, I have no indication that there truly is a priority to MEP. The priority remains space. All right, that's that building there. So let's talk a little bit about that building, all right? I got St. Luke's appraisal on this building. You want to know about that little portion of second floor that you see up there? Move-in ready, that $510,000 building? We know $2 to $3 million to get that in a workable environment. Jill Geisinger came to me. Her biggest concern isn't salaries. Her most recent, presented to me, biggest concern was the work environment, the space, the shoulder-to-shoulder necessity for those employees down here, right? So you're talking a building that's going to be $3 to $3.5 million, and it will not even hold all the children and youth services. It'll be lacking 25% of the square footage to meet their needs. It states that second floor, functional obsolescence, incurable. I don't know about you, but that sounds bad. Functional obsolescence, incurable. As it is our opinion that the cost of repair will most likely exceed any financial benefit. You know that schoolhouse on the hill? Built after World War II. Guess when this one was built, all right? Before World War II. Keep that in mind as we look at making investments into the future. Children and Youth Services needs about $5.1 million to meet their space needs. They put in a little over a $2 million request. I asked them to consider a supplemental or a modification to their state requested budget. And with the help of Boyle Construction, they're looking into that possibility, regardless of where they ultimately end up. But they need to end up somewhere. They need to end up somewhere now. So think about what I mentioned about the courthouse project, that $6.9 million. Where are all those people going to go if we want to save you and me $3+ million? Office space rental, $10 a square foot. Add that up. That adds up. Now, where are you going to find that square space that the court needs to operate in for a year? You know what? Yeah, we're going to spend $1 million to move them temporarily, to put some infrastructure up there to meet those needs, no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, ultimately, without that space, we really don't have an option that's going to be in the best interest of the Carbon County taxpayers. So this is some of the thought on this. We could buy that building today for $500,000. It's going to pay for itself in about 1 to 2 years. Because one, right now, because you know we have 3 offices up there right now, right? We could buy that office today. We could put the entire court up there, and it would pay for itself while we spent $6 million on renovations of that courthouse, $7 million. But again, that doesn't meet our space needs, but we could do it. But if we don't purchase that building, we have no place to go. We lose all our flexibility. But guess what we can do if we buy this building today And 24 months from now, after, let's say, partial, if total renovations are complete, are done, we could sell that building. And guess what? We'll get 75, 80% back on whatever we paid for it, right? That can be expected in the market. We've already had someone who was competing against us for that building who offered in the low 400,000s. So we could purchase it, kind of like a rent to own, right? Or we can get rid of it, kind of like a lease. Take it for 2 years, and guess what? If it doesn't meet our needs, we get rid of it. Or we can go all in, do what is necessary to meet the needs of the county today into the future, buy it, and renovate it in the most cost-effective, efficient manner possible. And this is what I'm going to tell you. These three right up here, at the end of the day, regardless of what we're going to decide, and I've seen it in the projects we've done so far, we go all in. Once we make a decision, we're going to do everything we can to ensure the best interests of the Carbon County residents are taken care of when we make decisions. Solar won't pay. Solar won't pay. By the time it pays for itself, you have to replace it. I've been looking at solar for 2+ years, Jerry. Want to let you know that. It doesn't pay, that aspect of going green. Understand, our number one priority, right, should be our seniors and our have a senior center. Even Penn Forest has one. Weatherly, Lehighton, Nesquehoning, Palmerton. You want a senior center in Jim Thorpe? There's only one place you could potentially put it. How about 365 availability of a place for seniors to do events? Another venue for the Senior Olympics. Well, that's all I have on that one. Holy moly, that's a tough decision.
And I don't know where all like some of these numbers came from, because when I added it up, I don't know where it came to 13,000 square feet. That I know that was like for possibly storage that was in the larger renovation or whatever that was to it. But this is something, and I said, you add all these numbers up. Carbon County cannot afford the courthouse, they can't afford the prison, they can't afford everything added together.
Absolutely.
And I can guarantee you what's gonna happen here, and you see it all across the board. We're gonna work on this building up there, and things are gonna get neglected that need to be done at the courthouse, because we're gonna have to cut money somewhere. You know, the boilers that are being fixed a couple times in a month, what happens when them are gone? Are we gonna neglect that? Adult probation has moved out. We have a space down there. We don't even know who's going in them spaces. And with this move, and I understand this building, the front part of that building down there in Lehighton is old, but the other part is not as old. It's a new, if somebody just drive down there and look at it, you'll see how nice of a building it is. And I never said it was perfect, but it's like if we would take children and youth out of 76, all that space, we would have to take people from the courts. This building up here has not even addressed any of the issues in the courts. It is not, nothing. Aging is in Palmerton. That cost us $40,000 a year. If you would take a third of that building, that cost, and say that aging, it would take us 50 years to pay that $2.5 million back at the rate that we're paying. So money-wise, I don't really see where it's going. And I said, again, I go back to it. We didn't discuss anything with our financial people. And just so that everybody is aware of it, this motion is to buy the building. That's what it is. It's not to, you know, if you go out and buy a car and you say, okay, well, I'll buy it if the tires are all right, but you come there and one's worn, I'll buy it anyway. And that's what this is going to be. You're going to buy this building, and the taxpayers, for 3 years from now, when things don't get fixed around here, then they're going to come back and say, oh, you know what, we need a new boiler in the courthouse. We need a new roof here. You know, and the tax increase did not starts today. You might
building, which would have been perfect for us, but I would only ask if I went along with this motion, or even on.
If you go along with this motion, Wayne, you bought the building. There's no backing off.
I know that. But you know, and Joyce was right in one thing, and you know it yourself, children and youth needs that space now.
Exactly,
not
and they
tomorrow.
could move into Lehighton tomorrow.
The-
Simple as that.
Both building projects have to be scaled back.
Yeah.
We own a doubt.
Yeah.
We were looking at the tiles, I say, forget it, you know, just clean them,
Yep.
do what we can with the tiles, keep the one restroom the way it is. We were looking at renovations. Yes, we must upgrade the heating, air conditioning systems, plumbing, et cetera. The electrical system is outdated, no doubt about it, and that building was built a lot, or what was it, 1893? Something like that, or 19, whatever it was. I forget offhand, see it every day, but, less we can scale back several $1 million or between the two projects. And even if we purchase that building, it's still not going to meet all our future needs. I would not be in favor of doing any other than necessary renovations, such as a roof or maybe heating, ventilation to that building until we have a better grip. I think we need the space now and move them, but make no other renovations at this particular time until we get the courthouse done. You know, I presented several times and what I'd like to see moved around in the courthouse. I talked to court administration about it, met with court administration and adult probation about borrowing some temporary space. There's a lot of issues with that as well. But my number one concern, and we're still waiting for the official notification from the state, the agreement or, what's the word I'm looking for? The settlement agreement with children and youth. And I really don't want to jeopardize that because it jeopardizes everything we have on the table right now. As far as finances, we lose that funding due to a citations or whatever. If we don't get that with the state now, we're gonna lose that 30% funding.
And we'll lose that funding no matter what, where we're going. You know, that's my point about
Well,
it.
I think our saving grace is, Rocky, if we purchase it, we can sell it once its usefulness to us abates. And that could be after the courthouse renovation project. But you can't invest, and it's $7 million for that courthouse renovation project, as is right now. If we do it any other way, it's gonna take us over $10 million. And we know we can't do that. We have to scale back. The problem is, and it puts us in a difficult position. Without that building up there, we lose all our flexibility. And we need to maintain our flexibility, if nothing else. And it's worth $517,000 or whatever we end up agreeing with the school district. Because we're gonna save that in rental space.
Would the court be willing to move domestic relations up there?
You're still here, right?
Hate to put you on the spot, but when I talk to the judges, I'm not gonna really condemn them, but every time I talk to them, well, they don't wanna move this office out, they don't wanna move this office out. Someone has to move. Let's get real, people. Someone has to move. End the subject. And if we, as the board, 2 or 3 vote either way, or 1 to 2, 2 to 1, whatever the vote is at that particular time, we have got to make some decisions and move forward. I'm getting tired after how many years did I say? I've said previously 15 years at looking at other buildings and trying to find space, keep it local, and it's just not happening. I think it's about time we make a damn decision and move forward. I would agree to the decision to proceed, provided we do not spend any unnecessary funding in that building until we get the courthouse project done and get a concrete answer from the court system on what is gonna happen in the courthouse. I thought we were supposed to have a meeting on that previously, but didn't happen yet. Everyone's so busy right now. But I think a temporary I really hate to do this. I mean, it's,
We have to.
Can I just say?
Mark can say
Yeah.
something a little bit too, but I think now we're looking at not doing something up there until we see what we can cut in the courthouse.
Cut in the
And there's
courthouse
not things to be cut. The electric gotta be done, the plumbing
yeah,
gotta be
yeah,
done,
well,
everything
all
gotta
I'm
be
saying
done, and
is
then we're gonna
hallways
cut,
and some
shortcut that again. And like I said, in 3 years from now, we're gonna come back and, oh my God, we should have did this. When I first came on board here, out at the park, there was actually an issue out there with the oil boiler, where we were paying to fix the oil boiler every year. It's going on and on and on, couple $100 a year. And what wound up happening, we put a new oil burner in for $4,600. That's the same thing we're gonna wind up over here in the courthouse. We're gonna pay where we should have fixed it in the first place. There's stuff that has to be fixed around here. It can't be left going. And I wouldn't be, hey, if you just wanna buy the building and that's okay and you put that on, but I am not gonna be part of not doing the courthouse the proper way. You just can't throw carpet in and throw people in it.
Without having that building up there.
okay.
Whatever, go ahead.
Did you have one quick comment?
Well, I just was concerned, like a lot of the residents that expressed their opinion about their opposition to the project, because it is a large capital investment in doing this. And of course, we have a high senior citizen population in the county. Fixed income folks, taxes obviously are gonna go up. I honestly do not think that the solution for the county space problem is in Jim Thorpe. I think it's the wrong building in the wrong location. I think the cost is way too high. So I don't want to see it become, but I hate to use the word white elephant. I think that's what it could become for the county.
I'm sorry, you're experiencing construction, project management, and pricing of building renovated space?
I am not an expert. I
Yeah,
talked to
thank
Commissioner
you.
Arner. He's a
And
contractor.
I would say Mr. Lukasevich is not either.
Correct.
Well, I do have an MBA from Lehigh, and my concentration was project management, so I do know pricing. Thank you, Rocky.
I have an MBA in finance.
Call for the vote.
Thank you.
Call for the vote. Mr. Arner.
And this is the vote to buy the building, correct?
Nothing else?
No. I didn't hear nothing else. I heard to buy the building.
No, I mean, provided we do
As the
not.
motion was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Lukasevich.
Yes.
Mr. Notstein.
I walk out of this room today with a target on my
Either
back,
way,
but
it doesn't.
either way, so. I'll vote yes, but I will not support any future renovations up there until we get this issue settled with Children, Youth and others. Just-
Yeah.
I have no
That's enough. We have one other item that we'll table until next month is the
Resolution.
resolution for the 250, since that person, I'll make that motion. to
Second.
table.
Mr. Arner.
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich.
Yes.
Mr. Notstein.
Yes.
Any further business?
Hope not.
Commissioners' reports, Mr. Arner.
I have one report. I'm not gonna take real long. No, I wanna thank, Mr. David Kupta.
Yeah.
Kupta,
Yeah.
for the donation of $10,000 to the animal show. That's like, very generous. Thank you.
Mr. Lukasevich.
I would just say, please go on our Veterans Office's Facebook page. A lot of veteran-centric events coming up. I think there's like 4 of them. So a lot of activities coming up in regards to and around Veterans Day on the 11th November. That's all I have.
Mr. Notstein.
I think we all talked long enough yesterday, and I'll just say, I mean, my decision, I think all our decisions on what we feel is the best interest of the county. We have talked about so many things, and we'll disagree in a lot of things, but for now, it is what it is, so. Meeting adjourned.
Do we have to take questions?
I don't think you need any. You should have blended.
Need a recess. I'm sorry. Election board meeting. Okay. And Lisa's tied up. If we don't need her, I'll now call the monthly meeting of the election board to order.
First item is the approval of the minutes of the election board held held on September 9th.
Move to
and the-
approve.
And the special election board on October the 12th.
Move to approve both minutes.
I guess I can second it, but I gotta abstain from the vote, correct?
Okay,
Because I was not present.
Mr. Arner?
I'm abstaining because I was not present.
Okay, Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notes?
Yes. Are there any guests concerning election board business at this time? Move on.
The next item is the approval of the voter registration totals of eligible electors in its precincts that may participate in the municipal election to be held on Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021, as listed. And there are pending registration applications from online voter registration up to and including 10/18/21 that may be processed.
Move to approve.
Second,
Mr. Arner?
yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
I'll abstain as a result of my commitment of time, money, and effort to support the re-election of Tyra Boney, Clerk of Courts.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes.
Election board vacancies. The following registered electors of Carbon County will serve as precinct election officials, filling vacancies at the November 2nd, 2021 municipal election, as listed.
And that covers everybody now? Did they get everybody for, they
We
didn't?
still need some people.
Because I mean,
We're
it's
so
like 2
short,
pages long.
Right. Judges of elections and poll workers, we're still short.
Still short.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
I'll abstain as a result of my commitment of time, money, and effort to support the re-election of Tyra Boney, Clerk of Courts.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes, and again, I want to reiterate, we did get some replies after it was mentioned previously. I think she said we got 5 people that expressed an interest in the judge of elections or election workers at the different polls from the last conversation we had at our meeting on this. And I would like to, get it out there. We're still looking for judges of elections and election workers. Okay,
Okay. Further business?
that's all I have. Meeting adjourned. Okay, now media.
My brain's scrambled. All right, how many people do you think we're short exactly? Does it sound like 5 people, 6 people?
In what?
Last time it was like 12 or 13.
Oh, for the election.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
think we're down to about 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think there's only a
Contact Lisa
couple
on
now.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's only a few.
I mean, there's not a polling place that isn't manned to some degree, so it's not like there's one
Right,
place where
that
we
they
have
can
no
build
one.
in.
Right, yeah.
And one thing I want to point out in that too, there's always a lot of last minute health issues maybe because of a lot of our poll workers and that are seniors and et cetera. Health issues or family issues that turn up, so there's always a few, I would say, in my experience, that at the last minute we may lose 2 or 3 more, so we might be down at that time, so.
Have you been short like this in previous elections, or is this a
We have,
kind
yeah,
of
it's
COVID
nothing
specific
new,
thing?
so.
And you're not, it doesn't seem like you're concerned that 2, 3 weeks away.
No, it shouldn't be.
Not really.
It's
If
kinda
not,
like
we're gonna-
lifeguards at Mach Junction
Yeah,
Park.
we'll point somebody, maybe even you. No, you're not from the county.
I'm not. I'm done. Thank you guys.
Nothing, okay.
Come on, Jared, was this more exciting than your other meetings?
Well, Kelly skipped out to go to a more
Yeah.
exciting meeting of the chamber. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, what the
the
heck?
chamber,
Yeah.
my gosh. Can't believe that.
If I get a parking ticket, can I turn it into you later?
We purposely kept you here longer so you'd get time went by.
Am I gonna have a boot on my car or what?
Probably. You know that car